touch. And in my opinion, touch is the artist side of creating the setup. That's a pretty good start. I've made lots of videos on short game principles, what to do and what not to do. We have established a standard technique, and I have another video made just a couple of days ago where I'm going into manipulating the ball flight into higher and lower versions of it. Today we're going to use it and go into different situations around the green with my 58-degree wedge and with my 50-degree wedge, and we're going to use the technical elements we've learned from the last video and apply it on the spot. And I'm going to talk you through it, and you're going to see what my brain is thinking, and then you can maybe get even a better sense of how to become a short game master. About 1/3 of flight to do here and about 2/3 of rollout. And now I'm going to hit my standard 50-degree wedge. And that should be the right ball flight for this situation. Nothing crazy. Middle ball, middle in the stance, everything normal. There you go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to try to replicate that ball flight with the lob wedge. And I'm going to go closer to the ball, as discussed in the previous video. I'm going to move the handle a bit more up. I'm going to use more width in my chip shot. Remember, when we do more width in the chip shot, we have more opportunity to ride with a more shaft lean, lowering the ball flight. And it's going to come out just like the 50, hopefully. Yeah, a little bit thin, but for a lob wedge, very, very low. Sometimes when we tuck on the handle, the club doesn't work itself down a little bit. So it was natural, like it can cause thin shots. Here's our next situation. Yeah, it's a little bit the downhill slope. So I think I'm gonna hit my normal lob wedge, but I'm a little bit afraid it's going to come out a little hot. So I'm gonna move the ball a little bit up in my stance. Just a little bit, make it come off a little bit softer. Now the same shot with the 50, certainly a bit of a challenge because I already had the lob wedge wasn't enough yet. I had to elevate the lob wedge a little bit by putting the ball forward. Now I'm just going to go a little bit further away from the ball, definitely drop my handle, balls forward. I'm going to use a little bit more just my wrists, right? So my hand path radius here again is not very wide. I'm going to leave the hands where they are in this area, and if I do this form, the 50-degree wedge creates a high ball flight as well. Did not create a high ball flight. I was obviously putting it on top on the Bermuda grass. It rolled up the face, so it created a crap load of spin. So that can happen as well sometimes if it's sitting up really nicely and you're coming down steeply with some wrists. The ball comes off very, very low, but with a lot of spin. It's very spectacular, this shot, but it's more of a accidental byproduct. Here, a new shot here. Give myself a good shot. Got my little bit uphill slope. So it's going to turn my 50 into a 54 or so. It's another very standard in the middle of my stance. Standard chip shot here. Just going to line it just on. I'll let it go to the hole. All right, now with the lob wedge, if I wanted to keep the ball in the middle of my stance, I would have to use now much more club head speed, obviously. Right? So whether I try to recreate the same ball flight and put the ball back in my stance and use more hand path width, I'm going to actually leave the ball position where it is. And in my matrix of computing the shot, I have to now use more club head speed and more swing length than my previous shot with the 50. There you go. So this training with two different clubs and constantly manipulating the ball flight is actually what creates touch. And in my opinion, touch is the artist side of creating the setup. Like once the setup is dialed in, and it's a lot of fun actually to practice that way. I need a couple more shots. One of the tougher chip shots I could find. I see it's slow. It's got a pretty severe rake with a good lie here. I'm just going to throw it up there with a lob wedge and land about 6 feet on. Everything's standard. I don't have to hoist it up too much. Yeah. So now with the 50, definitely much more challenging. But we're gonna go further away from the ball. I'm gonna drop the butt, I'm gonna drop the grip. I'm gonna use more club head speed. And again, a smaller hand radius. Challenging, but Ballesteros could do it. Maybe I can too. And it was exactly the same ball flight hit the ball. Right, so once again, ball position was more forward, handle was lower, and I turned my 50 into my 58 that way. Last shot of the day, we're gonna use a very dirty lie here. This is kind of like new sod and it doesn't really want to grow in, but it's pretty sandy, and if you hit the ball ever so slightly second, there's just not enough resistance in the ground to get away with it, right? So it's almost like chipping off a fairway bunker shot. So you have to make sure the low point is after the ball. The best way to get the golf ball to be hit first and turf second is to get extremely close to the ball. Use your wrists and then swing left. You gotta go that way, right? So because I'm so close to the ball and I'm getting super steep with my wrists and swing left, those are 3 factors for steepness, the ball's gonna shoot off crazy fast. All right, so I have to just land onto the green and it's gonna roll all the way out to the pin that's 50 feet away. I'm gonna set our wrists and swing left and very little club head speed. Yeah, and I'm not gonna try this shot with a 58. The risk is too high. It's possible, but I would have to gouge out a pretty steep divot, and I don't want to do that to the club right now. Right, so I'm just going to go over here, sit the ball up, and we're going to hit the lowest possible lob wedge shot ever. I'm going to go extremely back in my stance outside the foot line. Handle is crazy up. A wide hand path, and we're going to use very little club head speed again. All right, and another 3.5 footer for par, hopefully. Please practice like that. Use 2 clubs, manipulate the faces, opening, closing, little hand path, lots of hand path, and you are going to get touch, I promise you that. The other thing that I really like about this is that you are getting clear-minded in what you want to do. You have decided, okay, this is the right shot. You're assessing the lie, okay, it's standard. No, it's not standard, it's a little bit downwind and the greens are firm, so maybe I'm going to put the ball more forward, elevate the shot to soften the total distance. It's into the wind, into the grain. You're like, oh, I need a little bit more ball speed, and maybe just a little bit from there to right there is all you need for your baseline to be adjusted to what you need in the situation. That's touch to me. That's the artist side of things. Is it good for a 18 handicap? Probably too much information. Could be. Maybe somebody's very talented in short game and just needs to learn the long game to get from an 18 handicap to a single digit. I don't know. For the ones who have more desires than others in golf and want to achieve something, this is a good video and this is good information. And why not try more than anyone else and have fun with practicing it right? Leave me any comments. Of course, like it, subscribe, suggestions of what else I should be doing. And if you have any questions, also drop a note and I will answer.